Okay, boom. We should be live and direct in the tube with PT. How are you, PT?
I'm doing fine as usual, same. So yes,
Like
so
I was saying, I'm always delighted, excited to hear you again on the many topics that I have put together here. For sure, we have 30 minutes, so we're not gonna go through the whole list, but there's
yes,
more. Life goes on, and there is other days that we can
yes, yes,
pursue our endeavor.
yes, yes,
So the last time when we talked together, we were exploring the topic of protesting to the government, and we were not totally done because like I was saying, I don't really think that they, first of all, they don't have the same motivation that we have, and
yes,
I don't think they're the same as us. Are they? Not in a sense that they're not human. Maybe they're not, but they appear human. But
yes,
many many people throughout their research will encounter different theories about who's
yes,
the people in power. So I would
yes.
like you to extend on this.
Yes, I think what people need to realize now that this is not the time now, for protesting against the government. It's time to actually understand what is government and whether we have the right form of government in the first place. So like it's about completely changing the system completely. When you protest against the government, you're basically wanting little tweaks in the system. You think the system is all good, but as a whole, but you just need some little changes here and there, tweaks, little changes, and then everything will be okay. you know. But that's not the situation we are at. You have to understand, when people have to understand that the whole system is faulty as a whole. So then it's not a matter of you hold the small tweaks. You have to change the whole thing completely. It's a time for an overhaul. you know
Yeah.
not a minor tweaks. So protesting is like a minor tweak. It's not about actually getting to the core point, the root issue, like that the whole system needs to change completely. So that's the whole point here, so
Yeah, and also like I don't think anarchy is a solution also. Like people are kind of wild sometimes. So
yeah, I mean,
you need some kind of structure. Like even in my own house here, I need some kind of
yes,
structure,
structure,
some
yeah,
kind of
but
rules, some kind
yeah,
of
obviously. But the structure has to be made by beings who are in that responsible position to take those decisions, who are wanting good for everyone. and
exact.
and
Okay.
all of that kind of thing and stuff like that. So that's why how the structure comes into place even. So obviously this structure is not meant for that. It is definitely not meant for the good of everyone, or for evolution of everyone and every being on this plane. So obviously that structure needs to be taken out towards a more benign structure. So anarchy doesn't happen anyways because people are not don't have the usually courage to be like that, mostly as a whole. So they always look for a structure because that is just a fear given by the so-called governments, that if we are not there, there'll be anarchy. you know,
Yeah.
that is just to keep you in the system. Like as if there is no other alternative to them. But that's not the case. Another structure will always develop. If that structure falls. So
N-
there's so
And like you said, if it would be for the good of everyone,
yeah,
okay, no problem having some kind of
yeah,
council or
yes,
bunch of people together taking
yes,
decision if it's for the good of everyone. But
yes, yes,
I think what we have right now is really a bunch of irresponsible brats taking decision, like you say,
yes.
and often it's like not
And the
often it is
agenda
playing
is,
pretend. They pretend that they want the good of everyone.
yeah, but that's a smoke screen, you know.
Yeah,
But the actual actions speak louder than the words. What actually happens at the ground level or a practical level suggests otherwise. you know, on the so that is seen now, and I think we have had enough time, or the people of this plane have had enough time to see what is happening in that way. So like and actually
yeah.
on the ground level. So
But I still wonder why so many people adhere to their philosophy, uh, to their beliefs and stuff. Like it's freaking religion. The government at one point, especially here
Yeah,
in Canada, it's pretty bad. The
yeah.
how
I mean,
popular the like government are very popular amongst the muggles, the masses.
yeah. I mean, but that's an illusion, I think, which is breaking all over the world now. You know,
Okay, yeah,
in the last 2 years, it has broken, and it's been breaking in other parts of the world. As a whole, it is breaking as a whole. It is not so much this blind belief and faith in this government system is breaking, and people are not seeing this as some divine god, or like something which has to be blindly listened to or accepted, or whatever they say is correct, and this kind of thing. I mean, that is happening. I mean, and
yeah.
which is a good, and I think it'll keep on happening. It'll take much more, like,
Yeah, Babylon is falling gradually, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not gonna happen overnight either. But
yeah,
I think
yeah,
we're on the way to
yeah, yeah,
eventually
yeah.
probably
And
bring
the
that system
awareness,
down.
that consciousness and awareness is spreading.
Exactly. It's
Yes,
gonna
yes,
take a while, but
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
the most wonderful time to be alive. Yes.
yes,
Boom.
yes.
So yeah, so that's it. So the protest to the government does it in your so it doesn't do anything to go out in the
We are not
street
at that
and
stage now. This is not that time. I think
that's
that's
it.
like for 40, 50 years ago, they were talking like that. But this is not the time for
It's not the time for
that.
that
Yeah,
now. It's the
yeah,
time for something else now.
yeah, yes.
That's it.
It's time for
That's
the complete overall. You
okay.
cannot, when it's a machine, a complete overall has to happen. Complete overall has to happen. This car is beyond repair.
That's it. So
Yeah,
my next thing is luck. Is
yeah.
there such thing as luck? Because a lot of people will say, "Oh, I got lucky. You're lucky. You got good things in life happening to you. It's luck." Or is it a good fortune that you determine for yourself? Or is it an act of divinity when you have luck in your life? Some people
I mean,
define it as luck,
your
but
your yeah, your past actions are
okay,
today's luck.
okay,
Today's actions are tomorrow's luck. So,
simple.
like, whatever you did in the past
Yeah.
creates whatever luck you are having today, what you call luck.
So it is a good fortune that you determine for yourself.
Yourself, yeah, you did the things, and accordingly, you get the fruits like of that. Like somebody cooked a meal, and then they get got to eat it. Now they can't say like you were lucky you getting to eat this, but you
Exactly.
cooked it. Do you understand yourself? You
Yeah.
got the that things and that thing. So like that effort, that work which you put before, like which is not in just in this life and this life before that and life before that, whatever actions you did determine what luck you have right now today. you know so the blessings, the luck, what you have today, and whatever you're doing right now, and you'll continue to do in the near future, in this lifetime, will determine what happens to you later. So that will be the luck of tomorrow. Luck of tomorrow by actions of today, luck of today by the actions of past.
Of
Simple.
yesterday. That's
Yes.
it. Simple. So your actions will determine your
Yeah.
future for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes. Yes. So what luck you will have or not have.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was always under that impression, but I
Yeah.
did a few things in my life. I never considered myself lucky, more of a hard worker and determining what I wanted in life, and
Yes. I
it
mean,
came.
so
It
yeah.
came
I mean,
eventually. And
so
does repeating it like often a lot of people will say you have to speak it into existence if you want it to happen. Like you want something in life, speak it into existence, and
no, you still
eventually
have.
take action and eventually it will come.
Okay, then those people should try cooking food like that.
Okay.
They should speak the fire into existence. Just stand in front of some that thing and just say like, food, just cook, like cook, cook,
Okay.
cook. They should they should try these kind of things.
Maybe it's
Whenever
gonna cook
people,
by itself.
yeah, like, or whatever, like, like that thing,
Yeah, yeah.
or that thing, like the potatoes to reach from the ground to their plate. They should just speak it into
Yeah, the
moving.
pot will form itself. That's it.
But they should
Yeah,
try these
okay.
kind of things. I mean, they should try practical things like that, to see whether things work like that or don't work like that. I mean, I think they should be like experiments like that, like scientific experiments. I mean, a lot of times when people want something, you know, and they get it, I mean, it seems like to them like magic, because they worked for it in the past, and which becomes luck of today, and then you get it because of that luck. Then you suddenly get this impression that things happen like that. So,
That's it.
like, if two people do the same thing, they want the same thing. One person will get it, and another person won't. Okay, now what's the difference? Okay, if that was the fact, then both people should get it. Everyone should get it. You know what I'm saying? But that doesn't happen. So that means there's something different. That means those actions of those beings in the past have not been the same. Obviously,
Exactly.
they're different. So their luck today is different right now. Okay, so it works out for them just because of their past actions, not because of some like
Some
affirmation or
luck.
something which you're doing, like right now, this law of attraction and whatever they try to peddle these days. you know it's finally from work. Everything is actually in this universe from work. Actually, in reality. You know what I'm saying? And so,
And do you
yeah,
think that when we help ourselves at that level, that we really enforce and really focus on actualizing our potential, our life here on Earth, there is outside forces also that can come and help us to
yeah, but then you become
be
work centered.
lifted to sending
Yeah,
us
but
signs and
then
stuff.
but you realize that everything will finally happen from your own work. You realize no matter how much outside help you get or don't get, finally
Okay.
everything rests on your own work. And that's a great sort of understanding to have,
Oh yeah.
very clear, a very clear awareness of that. Do you know what I'm saying? And the more clear that is, the less problems you'll have, you know, that finally it's your own work. Do you know what I'm saying? Not someone else's work which will work for you. I mean, others can point, help, advise, all these kind of things. But who will actually do the work? You.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody can do the work for you. N- Or neither can you do the work for someone.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, so that's the
And again, it's not to exclude because my next topic is God. Okay. Who is God? What is God? What is that big thing with the word God? What is it just a GGOD, like grand organizing design? What is that word? Because you look at it reverse, it's dog. You have
yeah.
something in your book about that, about
Yeah.
God and
Yeah.
dog.
God, yeah, so God is, I mean, like I mean, it's a very uh, like problematic term because it's not understood properly. It's like if you use that list, generator, operator, destroyer, generator, operator, destroyer, God, basically. So I mean, these are the three things in the universe. These three forces, you know, they're like creation, sustenance, and destruction, which are three basic forces in operation here. So obviously, the single entity, which is called divine, right, divides itself into these three in order to make function in this universe. So there's generation, which is called creation. Obviously we are in a creation. That's why all these things are here, right? We are in a creation. Now there's a sustenance. Every day you have to sustain, like your body, even by food, everything. Like every day, there is the sustenance which happens, you know, every day. And then there is a destruction of things, like which are not useful, you know, like there is always like you take out trash from your house, you you take out trash from your body, which is not processed. Like all kind of destruction is also happening every day,
Yeah.
which helps in the sustenance, you know. So, and obviously something has to be destroyed before a new can be built and everything, on all of that, like that process, you know like, I mean, right now leaves are destroyed of a tree. They go fall on the earth, and then they become manure for the next tree, next seed, right? So the destruction, creation, sustenance dance is going on continuously, and that is that principle. You can just call it God. That's all. You know, that's happening all the time, everywhere. You know, and that's a term to describe this process in creation, like in this universe. So,
There's that new thing also that I heard a lot in the last 10 years, maybe, is
yes,
co-creators of this reality.
yes.
Are we all co-creators? Like, can and
I mean,
also something that I've heard. I had someone on the TruMon
yeah.
show. I think it's Arthur was saying, if I maybe I misunderstood what he said. Again, my first language is French. Maybe I didn't pick it up right.
Mhm.
But he was talking about us being co-creator of this reality and being able, even in the past, to create mountains, lake, fishes, that everything that surrounds us been
Right.
co-created
I
by
mean,
us.
the thing is, everyone is creating their own reality, right?
Okay.
You're definitely creating your own reality. Like, okay,
Yes.
right now, if you have a house, how you have the things in the house, what you want, like how you have it all, you are doing that, right? You are
Yeah.
creating your house reality where you stay for yourself, right? You know, so some beings can create like a little environment, like a house for themselves, and that reality. Some beings have more power, they can create a whole ecosystem in which they would like to stay. Okay, for that you need no more knowledge. You know, it needs less knowledge to just create a house, maintain a house. It needs more knowledge to create an ecosystem and maintain an ecosystem. Okay, completely. Or you can make a whole plane like Earth, like, and like that thing. So then
Yeah.
all of
No.
that, all that is within creation. Creation is this whole big space, right? It's
Yeah.
called Brahman, which is called like this universe, right? Within that, beings are creating their own like spaces and creations within that creation, right? Everybody does that. Even every human being creates their own reality within the earth or world also. Like everybody doesn't have the same life in this world, right? Like
Yeah.
even though the world is same, but everyone's reality is different within this world even.
And
So
on a smaller scale, I can
yeah,
get into a land and build a lake. I can
yeah,
dig a lake. I
yeah,
can make
yeah,
a lake.
yeah,
So
yeah.
can
Like
I?
a pond first, like yeah, like
So
pond, then
with
it'll become big. If you make it bigger, then it's a lake. You know, like yeah,
and becomes an ocean and this and that.
yeah,
But do we have? Did we probably in the because look, as far as I'm concerned, and everybody here, we have never seen anything but humans on Earth from our eyes. Anyway, me here, maybe you have a different experience, but there's only humans around. Like
yeah,
there's no. I never seen I can't say I never seen. I've seen godly. I've seen divinity. I see it right here on the screen with you.
yes, yes.
Uh, but this idea of something supreme, God, or call it the way you want, we
Yeah,
have
that thing
never.
is, yeah, the point is for that you have to know different things first, like, because before, even in a human being, like, for example, when you see a human being, you see a body, right? You know,
Yes,
now, two eyes, one nose, two ears, like that. Okay, now, what is the spirit inside that? You can't see that.
you can
You can
see.
see the body, but you can't see the spirit. Like now, all spirits which are inside this human casing are not the same. They are not at the same level. They are at varying levels
And
of
this is
power,
obvious.
coherence,
Yes.
force, that thing.
Yeah.
So it just looks like human, no, but you can't say like everybody's the same just because they are having the same suit, like you can say, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's like, so then if in any sport, like if 11 people are wearing the same jersey because they're in the team, they all have the same jersey, but then people will still, oh, this is a better player, or that is a better player, that person is doing more, like they're not the same, right? Just because they wear the same jersey, right?
Yeah.
No, nobody becomes the same just by wearing the same jersey. So how does somebody become the same by wearing the same human suit? You know, like, the human body suit. Like, so it is more than that. Like, to understand levels of spirit, then I said soul. Like a spirit reaches a level of the sun, then it becomes a soul, and after that it becomes more than that, and then more than that, and then more than that. Then comes, like supreme divine soul, which is most coherent, most that thing than everybody else, all the other souls. So that's, there are levels to everything, you know. So yeah, so people can realize the levels even as in human level. People can see the levels,
Yeah,
and so for that, that's for beings to understand. Right now the whole thing is that situation is so shallow that people just get think they go they're all humans, they all must be same, and this everything is same. It's not so, like it's not so at all, you know which I call the equality delusion. Like that's it's nothing like that. So
because for many, this is probably the most existential question. This
yes.
who are we and who made us and who is God and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah,
we all
yeah,
went
but
through that kind of
yeah,
questioning at
because
one
first you're
point.
not, because you're not the body, you're the spirit. Okay, because this body you leave, this body you take, and then
Yeah,
you
and
leave,
you leave behind.
and then you leave behind. So that it can't be you, that GM saying. So you are the spirit, obviously, GM saying. So that, to realize that, there are techniques and stuff like called meditation and things like that, to
Yeah,
even to
yeah,
even realize this. If a normal person, like if they go into their normal life and they don't do any of these things, they will not realize that. They will always think that I am this body and that's who I am, and they will die with that shallow understanding. But once they leave this body and the other spirit comes out with other bodies, they will be very surprised. What is all this? you know. So then the moment of death or leaving this physical body is a traumatizing moment for them, and it's very unsettling because you thought that this was all there was. you know so it can be more of a problem, like if you have lived life in that kind of thought pattern or that kind of illusion. Like, so
yeah. But
yeah,
those existential questions, like I said, they vanish very fast, because now we're so distracted that
yeah,
we're above God and above everything that is divine. So
yeah.
we
Obviously,
have
like
no
if you don't
concern
understand the
really.
concept of spirit, if you don't even go to the point of spirit, where is God, divine, and all of these things? I mean, that's you have to start from step one and everything, right? Like, you know,
Yes,
if you can't understand your own spirit and your own reality, that I am what I am, then any further inquiry becomes useless.
useless.
You cannot do that. Like, I mean, that's the first step. Like, so, like those things you have to go on, like, okay, then spirit, then you'll understand what a difference between different spirits is. Then you'll understand what is the that thing, like it's step by step.
Step
It
by
is,
step. Yeah.
it's not like you, if you straight away jump to that, then you can just say like you might as well become an atheist. That's what atheists are. you know because they don't, like they've been taught by this religion called science, that we are just, and then when death comes, that's it. There is nothing more. You are just this machine, and you're born, you die, and that's the end of that. That's the science version, which is taught in school to people. That's what creates the confusion, actually. you know so so that's the problem, like. Yeah.
So my topic of co-creator is like it's very ancient. Probably it comes from
I
very
mean, I mean
far.
that was understood. Like nobody had to give these kind of terms. People understood that you make your own reality. They knew that you make your own reality. So
Okay,
there's no even, like, you don't have to define that even to say that you're co-creators or this thing, because you are always creating your own reality. That is just a very
we're already
understood
it.
thing. Yeah.
That's it.
So everyone creates their own reality. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that cannot be denied. Like, like
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
is,
Fact
yes.
is a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's clear. I got
Yeah.
lots of clarity on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna finish with maybe the next one, but we're gonna start on it. But I think it's gonna be another long one because it's
Yeah.
very magnificent. It's like the grand organizing design or God or whatever you call
Yeah.
it for you in your place on Earth. But it's the sun. The sun is, once I seen it once in my life, I was amazed. I was like, it changed my life completely to see the light, because I
Yeah.
seen the light. I can say I seen the light because
Yes.
I seen the sun moving in the sky. So I
Yes.
was all excited and I was like rejuvenated. I was reborn. I was like all the words you can imagine.
Yes.
I went through those galactic emotions and stuff. It's crazy. And every time I look at it, it's
Yeah.
the same again today. Every time.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's very
Because
magnificent. So the sun, my question, I have a lot of question around it,
yeah.
but what is the sun? What it's made of? Is it a reflection from the source, like a flashlight that you point on the
Right.
wall? You don't have the actual flashlight, but the
Like
reflection. So what is it?
like first, let's understand it practically. Like for example, we are on this plane. Okay. So do we need a light source here?
Yeah,
Like otherwise, it will be dark all the time, right?
exactly.
So we
So
need
we
a
need
light
light.
source. So light source. Okay. And then for plants to grow or life to grow, is that does that light have to have some properties for things to grow or some things to happen? So we know that sun is necessary
Yeah,
for most plants to grow or seeds to grow or that thing. We know even moon is important, not just sun. Moon is also important for things to grow, but sun is also important for that to grow. It's required. It's necessary, right? So for light is necessary, for growth is necessary. So for life here on earth to have this human body experience or any kind of experience on this plane, sun is necessary. That light is necessary. Now, there is a being, according to the Vedic traditions, there is a being which is in charge of providing this kind of light. Okay. And that we see in the physical reality as this light source, which is giving us this light. But there's a being behind it. Just like right now we are beings with this physical body, right? So people are seeing this with this physical body. This being you are seeing as this light and this body in the same way. And it also has a being body, just like we also have.
yeah,
You know, like inside we have spirit and we have the spirit bodies. This being also has those spirit and spirit bodies. So that's why it's soul, soul, soul. Sol is the name for sun, which is soul.
yeah.
So you and a human being, their spirit actually they can raise their spirit to the level of this being, which is giving this light right now on earth, which is called soul, sun. And
Soleil, soleil en français.
so when you get to that level, then you will become like a sun too. And on another plane or a planet, you can give that light to you actually. So you have to understand that. Like if you just see it as a entity out there, just like a ball with light, you don't understand that this is a being. So in the Vedic thing, it was always seen as a being because
Okay.
it's a reality. Actually, it is a being. Just like we are all beings behind our physical body, we are also like the spirit beings. So that is also a spirit being, and that knowledge and understanding is very important to understand the sun. So like so.
No, for sure. There's a lot of like. My idea is, can we chase the sun? Also, if we go into a airplane, I've asked that to pilot Alex that came on the TruMon show once. He was a airplane pilot, and I asked him. I said, "Did you ever try to turn your plane around and start chasing the sun?" I said, "Can we do this? Can we get closer to the
No,
sun?" Or
no. I mean, because you'll keep on gaining height, like you will keep on going more high, like because sun will be always higher, like, and then you will be keep on going towards that. If you're saying if it's higher on the sky, and then obviously there's a limit how high any plane can go, because the air gets thinner and they can't function in those altitudes, you know. So obviously planes are not going to take you to the sun,
and
and yeah,
is
yeah.
what we've been told with the whole
I mean, if you see it as a
geocentric.
being, it is best to see it as a being which you can talk to even, because it's a being,
Okay.
just like you talk to another human being, because human is also a being. But it's a human being that is also a
Yeah.
being. You can call it sun being, but it is still a being. So you can have being to being communication, and in the Vedic stories, that's very common to talk to the sun. And even in the tribes and stuff like Hopi and everybody, they always talk about communication with this being, you know. So
And I like what you said before. You said that every plant almost need light in order to grow. So us too, to grow out of our baby state, we must face the light. Because I say often that my problem is not children afraid of the dark; it's freaking adult afraid of the light. That's
yes,
the problem. Is we are afraid of the light, so we
yeah.
don't face it. But if we face more light, we see more
I mean,
the earth.
both are necessary. I mean, people don't know even moonlight is necessary. Like, a lot of people don't know moonlight is also necessary
Oh
for
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
growth and creation and stuff like. That's why seeds were planted as per the cycle of the moon.
yeah.
You know, like waxing or waning cycle. So the point is like the whole thing, everything in nature which is there is necessary for what is required for this existence to be there. You know, everything has its role, and they are all beings. You know, like that's, I mean, that's hard for people to understand because they always think that being can be only human being. Being can be any kind of being. You know, human is one. Like when a being takes a human suit, then it's called human being. That's all. But that's not the only kind of suit available in this universe. There are thousands of different kind of existences and suits available for a being to take. So that's the, yeah, yeah,
Anyway, was very. I'm not done with the sun. Next time, next Thursday, on the topic of the sun, because I have a lot more to ask you.
yeah,
What is it made of? Hydrogen, like it's emitting such a huge power. Also, you can
yes,
make solar energy out of it. Everything.
yeah. We
So
can we can go into it next week. That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. We're gonna keep going with the sun. And we're gonna stay
Yeah.
in the light. Boom. We're up.